Hey Fitheads, today we talk with Hunger4Fitness, two trainers that have transformed over 1,000 clients.
Yeah, they're awesome, but mostly Al and I make them talk about how they pull off McDonald's every Friday and mimosas every Sunday. Brunch, abs, let's go.
Ah,
Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
welcome Fitheads. Today we have Hunger4Fitness, Dwayne and Tenisha Douglas, and they have transformed over 1,000 clients. Ooh, that's a whole lot of people to be
Yes.
living better lives because you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
I'm stoked to talk to you about, well, lots of stuff, including, I'm just going to open with this because you Instagrammed eating McDonald's.
Yes.
You're a
Yes.
trainer, sir. What is going on?
Yeah, that's a Friday ritual here. I think my daughter started it, and I don't know. I'm obsessed with McDonald's, so it works out just well. So every Friday we have this we call it Friday, and we literally go to McDonald's, and it all depends. Sometimes I keep it small. I'll do like a small fry and a hamburger, and then sometimes it's like, all right, let me go full Big Mac, extra large fry, and go in. So it all depends. You have those weeks too where like I try to mesh both worlds, and I'll ask for a grilled chicken sandwich and tell them hold the mayo, and then I'll get like a small fry
At McDonald's.
at McDonald's, right? So I'm figuring out a way to have McDonald's and cut the calories, but for some strange reason during the quarantine, McDonald's has decided to stop doing grilled chicken sandwiches. And
Did they?
yeah, so they are forcing you to eat higher calories at this point. So I have no choice but to go in every single time that I go to McDonald's. But yeah, McDonald's is my thing. So a lot of people know, like I joke around, but you know, a lot of my clients don't. I go by the king of carbs. So I'm a carb junkie. So which is completely different from a lot of people's perspective as far as losing weight, but. So I'm very big on French fries. French fries is my thing. So like me and my son even like had this little challenge. We did it probably about a month ago where we literally went to like Target and grabbed like all of the frozen food French fries and started to figure out which one was the best to make at home. We figured it out. And
Wait, flavor or calories or less fat? What are you looking for?
It's a great question, right? So we were trying to. He didn't care. I'm looking at the labels. He's just like, no, we should go with this one. We should go with this one. And we said, okay, we'll find that thin line in that medium, that happy medium, to say, okay, which one tastes the best, and which one is not gonna completely add inches on my way. So we figured it out. It was made by
Which one was it?
It was Idaho.
Yeah.
The red one?
The red bag, Idaho.
You're not sponsored by them now? What is happening?
Hey, I need to send. They should be. I think they owe me a check.
Fitness fries, brought to you by Dwayne.
Right.
Brothers,
Yeah.
they'll probably pay you in just more bags of French fries.
Exactly. True.
So yeah.
All right, well, so once a week, and is it like a cheat day, or you really are still like sticking to your calorie intake when you're going to McDonald's?
So on my McDonald day, what I'll do is I'll prep based on knowing that later on in the evening I'll be doing McDonald's. So I'll eat lower calorie meals up until that. So and so when I go to McDonald's, it's gonna have that big spike, and that is that. And then what we'll do is we'll save calories again for Sunday, because Sunday's a big brunch day for us. Sunday brunch is it was a ritual up until this whole Rona came around, but we're big on mimosas on Sundays and
Heck yeah.
champagne. Well, we've been minusing the OJ lately and going straight champagne.
Yes! It's just a waste.
Huh?
I feel that. Yeah, like why do I need to dilute something that you can drink?
Exactly. It's like, what's the point? We had gotten to the point literally where we had this whole thing. People wrote something like, what's wrong with these idiots? We'd be at the restaurant, and they would give us the champagne glass, and we would literally take a straw. And take the straw, and when we take the straw, we'll put our finger at the top of it to hold the air. And then we'll dip it into orange juice just to get a splash of orange juice.
Sure.
No dilution. We're here for a reason.
Yeah, we're not celebrating anything. We can't have champagne on Sunday, but mimosa, that's fine.
Yes.
As long as they're a drip.
Yes.
So, well, it seems like you're living, even though you're very fit.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely. I still
I
maintain 10% body fat, but we'll figure it. We always figure out a way to I always joke around that you want to be living rather than just existing. So we want to make sure you still want to live life, but somewhat keep a cosmetic appearance that you want, or your goals want, I should say, maybe.
yeah, that seems so realistic and so counter to a lot of what's out there in the fitness world.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I do a similar thing. If I know I'm drinking, then I'll cut out some stuff before that evening to
Mhm.
leave room for that. It's funny that you. Oh yeah, and I did see that you have skinny cocktail recipes. So you're allowing the alcohol. This is actually, we ask every one of our guests. There's only one question that we make sure that we ask on every episode, and it's like, what is your stance on fitness and drinking?
Mm.
I'm the wrong. Okay, maybe you guys shouldn't have. Maybe you guys shouldn't be interviewing me. I literally drink every night.
My man,
So
10% body fat.
10% body fat. I think I'm sponsored by Truly and Corona. Uh, and I actually literally just got on the Truly craze just recently. And I'm obsessed with them. Like, so like literally I'll have like one or two a night, but you guys have to understand they're only 100 calories. So and it's really like controlled calories. So you can literally look at the can and say, okay, well, this is what I'm getting. And then the same thing, I'll drink Corona Lights as well. So it's not like I'm out there drinking, a whole bunch of old fashions and so on and so forth. But it's more so that I'll drink those, and it makes me happy, it makes me smile. So makes me feel like I'm doing something. But yeah, so every actually, I just had a Truly right before.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Love it. Oh, Max, why don't we drink during this? What the heck?
It's a great question.
Yeah, what if we do it again? We'll all be drinking.
Okay, done.
Yeah, we'll shotgun one.
I'm about to blow your mind now. Use Truly as a mixer. So just throw a shot into that Truly. It's even lower calories to the amount of drunk that you will get, if that makes sense. The drunk to calorie ratio is lower than just a Truly.
So
Did
we
we do that? Wait,
no
did we
we
do
mix
that?
champagne and Truly
Oh, that's what
on
we did.
Sundays.
Ooh, okay.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of bubbles.
That's truly
There's a lot of bubbles right there.
Oh, ridiculous. Okay, well, I seem to be a little skeptical of the Carb King thing though, because is this the kind of thing that you're also doing for your clients? I know you can handle the alcohol and the carbs, you're super active, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Is this a similar kind of program that you would prescribe to other people?
Absolutely. So one of the big things
I would
about
say
us.
yes and no, though.
Why would you say
I mean,
that?
we don't you're not gonna be able to tell our clients to drink every night.
Oh no, she's just talking about carbs in general, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I think
Oh,
carbs.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
But I mean, if you want to drink every night, you heard it here, folks. Hunger for Fitness, you should drink
Wait,
every night. Just kidding, don't do that.
Sorry, go on.
No, so like one of the big things about our program is what we try to do is we try to help people lose weight without honestly feeling food deprived. So one of the big things for us is that, on a serious note, is that we try not to have any of our clients cut out anything. So, and when I say that is like completely cut out a food group itself, right? Yeah, you might want to scale down a bit in certain areas, but as far as saying, okay, well, I'm not eating rice, sugar, dairy, and then all this stuff, and then what ends up happening is we've been doing it for a while from a standpoint of we tested that whole method, and it just starts this whole hamster wheel yo-yo effect where yeah, folks will get quick, great results, but you're not going to go the rest of your life without eating pizza in some cases and rice. And once they finally get back to sampling that, whether they be at an event or wedding, whatever the case may be, it's like it just unravels all over again. And then you see the results back on your body. So we figured out, aka we call it our 80-20 formula, where it's basically we want you to eat definitely foods that supports your goal, and then 20% of the time we want you to live life. So that's the real true mechanism behind our like meal planning. So we don't cut out carbs, and like some of our, it all depends on the client itself though, but some of our clients are eating anywhere from 30 to 40% carbs on a particular plan with us. But so with that being said, people are typically happy. because they feel like they get to realistically live their life like as normal. They don't really sometimes feel like they're completely on a diet and just completely restricted. And sometimes what I've noticed is that, if you put something on somebody on something that they really don't like and they're having trouble with it, it's just not sustainable. They're not going to keep going. So if you can find that happy medium where they can eat in a way that keeps them satisfied, they'll more than likely they'll continue with it, and then the weight loss will eventually come. So that's how we approach it. It's been working very well for us. So that's our answer, and we're sticking to it.
I appreciate the 80-20 thing. The Pareto Principle. You can use that in a lot of aspects of life. Just that,
Yep.
like, 80% of success comes from 20% of your efforts,
Yep.
and then the rest is kind of like way harder and less return on investment. So then if it's 80-20, are you saying this like on the weekends, just, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, and during the week track?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question. So we don't believe on cheat day, right?
Or cheat weekend.
Yeah, that's
or
yeah.
like, just do whatever the whole weekend.
So we more
Cheat
so
month.
like
Right,
cheat month.
right.
Cheat quarantine.
Yeah,
Cheat quarantine.
and we have, sometimes you have the clients that will be like, well, it's my birthday week, and they're like,
Right,
okay,
right.
So yeah, so
You want?
so
What'd you get for your birthday? Fat.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, free of charge. So so we believe in ultimately cheat meals personally, and then just making sure that cheat meal is just not like completely off the wall, but and sometimes in some cases we might figure out, we like to call them small wins, where we might have you have like 100-calorie snack maybe once or twice or 3 times a week, whatever the case may be. It's not completely crazy, but sometimes for some people, because we always ask people, what's your weaknesses, sweet or salty, right? And if it's sweets, you can compromise that with having like a 100-calorie brownie once or twice a week. Makes them psychologically like, oh my gosh, I get to have something. It's like a small win. As opposed to saying once again back to, and some people believe they're restricted. And like that's goes back to the whole 80-20 formula for us. It's like some coaches believe like 95-5, and it's so tight and it's so consistent. People just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get off. So when you have this 80-20, it's just like, okay. I was just joking with one of my clients the other day where she felt guilty like messaging me and telling me what she ate for dinner, and then she's like, oh, I also had a drink of whiskey. We're going back to the alcohol, and I was just like, you're gonna have those times. Friends and family come over, and so on and so forth. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, so it's like for us, it's more of we ultimately just want people to feel comfortable, feel happy, and feel happy that they're following a plan that makes them feel like
and that's sustainable,
satisfied.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, because most of our clients, I think it depends on your clientele too. Like the people who come to us, they are not trying to step on a stage or like be extra fit. They just want to lose like some pounds, they want to lose 15-20 pounds, but they need to do it. And they usually come to us thinking they can't eat carbs in order to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it works for our clientele, because now they know I can eat these things. I just have to be balanced about it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I feel like a lot of my questions have been about nutrition, but is that like mostly your focus is like intake, or are you having these clients work out too?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely for us, we call it like the trifecta. So it's definitely fitness, nutrition, and accountability. So for us, 80% of, you always hear 80% of weight loss is in nutrition. So nutrition is very key. But then we also have them on a fitness plan through our app. So we developed an app called Virtually Fit, where when a client logs into this app, which is on their iPhone or Android device, they're going to ultimately get a 7-day week of exactly what they need to do from a fitness standpoint. And basically all of the exercises are broken down. They're actually demonstrated between either my wife or myself will actually demonstrate every single exercise is built in with the timer and everything. Like they don't even have to count reps. And they literally go through these circuits that we have. And depending on the client, depending on the program they have, they might be anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe even 5 times a week that they're training. And then we sometimes do general type of fitness, like regular, like low intensity cardio, steady state cardio in there as well. So they're definitely following that. And then on top of that, incorporating the meal plan. And then for us, it's like the daily check-ins. We do once a week calls for like our VIP clients, where we call it our feedback session. And that's when we literally go back and we review their entire week, right? And we're going to tell them, we can see like, okay, well, you missed this day, you missed this day, you missed this day, or whatever. And we can go back and say, what's the situation? And that's when they're able to come back with any type of obstacle or pain points they have. And if we need to make small adjustments, we can do that there from a fitness standpoint. And then sometimes it's even, we're talking more about nutrition. Like a lot of the times for us, it's, this is really Tanisha's expertise, is she's honestly coaching them mostly on the nutrition side. And sometimes it's realistically just like convincing them just to follow the plan. Because what ends up happening is a lot of people, believe it or not, I joke around when people join with us is that I know that you're very smart, you're highly educated, but for these first 7 days, I just need you to just be like stupid, like dumb. Just follow the like don't overthink it and just follow the plan. Because what ends up happening is you have a client that'll come into the program and they'll almost have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So they're holding on to old things and old myths and so on and so forth that they heard before that realistically don't really align. And so Tanisha's literally the majority of the time is just trying to overcome that, to get them to say, listen, just follow the plan from morning to night. Just follow the plan and you'll be successful. So a lot of times just our first 7 days is doing that. And then once they step on the scale, after that first 7 days and they see, wow, this works. And that's what really develops the glue. And then it's off to the races after that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 7 days is still like pretty quick and impressive to be like seeing results. A lot of other trainers that we talk to, they say that that's like the biggest thing, is getting people to realize like what they think is right isn't, and like trust you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so true.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people have been burned too.
Yeah.
From other like coaches and stuff. So it's like some of them is a lot of them is like it's a trust issue at first. As far as okay, is this guy really like gonna help, or this girl gonna really help me lose weight? I've tried this before time and time again, and I've always failed. So you have to reassure them that it wasn't their fault. Like, so,
and it's managing expectations too, because just like you said, clients come in and they think, okay, in what 3 weeks I'm gonna look like I just stepped off of Sports Illustrated, and it's like, no, you're not. I'm like let's be realistic here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, so then tell me about your 28-day challenge.
So
if I can't do it in 3 weeks. 4 weeks.
Yes. So we developed a 28-day challenge where ultimately when you step on when you're in a program with us, we kind of put you through 3 phases. So for the first 7 days, we call it our fat detox, where we actually literally have clients message us through our app 3 times a day. So when you wake up in the morning, you have that breakfast, you have to take a picture of the breakfast and send it to us. And we're not doing that because we're nosy. We're doing that because we want to build an accountability, right? And sometimes people
You
work.
just have an Instagram of other people's breakfast.
Huh?
You have a foodie Instagram of other people's breakfast.
Yeah, what's funny is so funny. Someone had asked me that. They're like, "Are you like archiving these?" And I'm like, "No," but all we're doing is looking over your shoulder and making sure that your yes means yes, right? So let's see, and it should be really simple, right? Because I asked you just to be stupid for this week, be dumb for this week, and just follow the plan, right? So the picture that you're sending me is basically based off the plan, right? So they'll do that for breakfast, and they'll do that for lunch, and they'll do it for dinner. So for the first 7 days, we're doing that. And then if they're successful, we'll move them on to phase 2. So phase 2 is so realistically, the first 7 days, all we're trying to do is making sure that
they actually do eat. Because a lot of people come to us, they're not eating, really, they're not eating breakfast. Yeah. They might skip lunch, they eat some, snacks in between, they have a large dinner. So we're just trying to make sure they eat a few small meals a day, and then that they're actually eating. So.
Yeah. So if you can pass that beginning phase, we'll bring you into phase 2, what we call a perfect portion system. So what ends up happening is we have these trays these magical trays that we mail out to our clients, right? And it's broken down into 3 compartments where it makes it super simple, super easy for you to break your proteins, your carbs, and your veggies. And then it's perfectly portioned. So there's no guesswork, there's no scales. You're not counting how many macros or anything of that nature. You make it super, super simple, right? Because what the last thing you want to do, and I've been doing it for a while, is, these people, some people are honestly, they're struggling just to want to do anything as far as losing weight. I don't need you at home trying to figure everything on a food scale and all, just making this. You're bringing more excuses to the. I just needed to be okay. Just fill up this compartment, fill it up, and move on. And I mean, some of our clients are like so obsessed with it that they're literally bring it to restaurants. So they'll bring it to like Chipotle, walk in and say, listen. Put the protein in here. I don't want to see no more rice over here, and this and then, and that's how serious they get to it. And then they follow that, and then we'll follow that. They'll follow that until and as we check in, we're making sure they're still constantly seeing results. And then we have a third phase, which we call like our metabolic makeover, where ultimately at that point, our app is integrated with MyFitnessPal. So then at that point, we'll do some type of where they can time to check in, because they can actually at that point input what they're eating throughout the day, and then we get the complete chart.
You have a series of gateway drugs is what's happening here.
Huh?
It's like easy in the beginning, and then like, oh, add a little more challenge, and then suddenly they're tracking their macros.
Suddenly all of a sudden it's like, oh, you tricked me. But at that point, honestly,
at that point
they're dying to do that, because at that point they're like, they've already lost like 20 pounds or whatever that number is, and they're like, what's next? What's next? So it's like
it's a game, and now they want to take control.
Now, don't get me wrong. When we first got certified, you do the typical textbook thing. Let's have them eat, celery sticks and carrots all day long, and then they quit because it doesn't work and it's too hard. So we're like, you know what? Let's figure out that happy medium. And then
celery sticks and carrots.
Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but yeah. So at that point, we're like, okay, it has to be 80-20, and that's how that started. But then it was literally like, you challenge them a little bit for 7 days, then challenge them a little bit more for whatever that time period is, because we don't put a time on the perfect portion system. Some people stay on it forever. And it gets to the point where people, believe it or not, we're literally training them to visually see how much they should be eating. So it gets to a point where you don't even need it. So you can go to a restaurant and be able to order and already know how to structure your plate. Like, so because we joke around, even though, I might be the king of carbs, but we have this joke about going to restaurants and eating double carbs, right? And what that basically means is you'll go and you'll have a dish, and it could be chicken, and then you have French fries and mashed potatoes, or like some type of bread product and this and whatever the case may be. But then it's like, okay, well, where's your vegetables? So they'll start learning how to mix and match food groups even at a restaurant. So they're constantly being educated. So by the time they learn the perfect portion system, they're just doing it on their own. It's like we don't even have to. It's like, okay, well, did you have your protein? Did you have your carb? They already know. And then some clients, they're less like, okay, what's next? And that's when we put them in. They're like, they're happy on that. They're happy on it. And then some people they're like, no, I'm good. I'll maintain where I'm at, or whatever have you. So
yeah, it's interesting because like each small step, they're still getting like positive feedback, seeing results, and that's what's going to make them take the next step.
The small wins.
That's pretty solid. Although in there you were like, 3 meals a day, and you don't want people skipping meals? Here to question that. I am the person that eats 1 meal a day at the end of the day that you said shouldn't do that.
Wow.
Really?
You only eat 1 meal all day long?
Yeah, and then I go immediately to bed. I eat 2,200 calories and go to bed.
So I'm a firm believer of it's not the timing. It's ultimately what you put in the tank, right? So if 2,200 calories is helping you or is helping you maintain your weight, that's fine. I would imagine if you had decided, okay, I'm gonna start eating 4,000 calories before going to bed, there'll come to a point where you'll start slowly seeing the difference. But my clients are probably eating, let's say 2,200 calories, but they're just spreading it throughout the day, right? Yeah. For my clients who are some of our clients who are trying to build lean muscle, we know that, and I always hate to get all technical, but we know that.
No, get technical. We're nerds on this. You're talking to nerds.
Your body can't produce. Your body can't really absorb all that protein at one time, right? So what you want to do is you want to separate the meals throughout the day, so it has more chances to take in and basically utilize those proteins. So if you slam down 100 grams of protein at one time, realistically, your body can really break down about 25% of that. The rest of it comes out whichever way, however it comes out. But so we know that. So what we try to do is we try to separate it throughout the day for our clients. It's nothing to say, okay, you're going to burn more calories or anything like that.
for us too, the difference. I mean, you're experienced. People who come to us, if we said, okay, just wait, don't eat, don't eat all day, that's fine, and wait, eat all your food before you go to bed. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna overeat because they just are starving, they're ravenous, whatever, and they're gonna pick the wrong things or eat just a bunch of crap. So, I think it just depends on the person, how it's gonna work for them. And why do you do that though? Is that like an intermittent fasting thing, or is it just?
Yeah, I was doing like the standard 16-8, where you have an 8-hour fasting window, and I just kept working out later in the day, and it just kept getting smaller, and now that's what it is. I just like work all day, stay focused, and then work out and eat. So
and you're not starving? How would
no,
you do?
no, I was starving when I was grazing, so I hated having 3 meals a day, and that's why I was questioning it for you guys, because in between the meals I would just like want a snack, and like as soon as I start eating, it's like that's all I think about.
Well, they have 5. We do like 5 to 6.
Yeah.
They do have snacks in between, but I tried. For me personally, I tried to do intermittent fasting a couple times just to check it out. And I wake up so early, I was like, okay, it was like, wait, let's eat at 12 o'clock, and then your last meal at 8 or whatever. And I was like literally dying before 12 o'clock. I was like, oh my god, I need some food. I can't think. Like I
get headaches and get like bloated.
Headache. I was like,
No, it's not for everyone, and there's also like a transition period where your body gets used to it. But some people are just like, it's not for you, especially if you aren't like gonna skip breakfast naturally anyway. So whatever.
But it's also fasting. It's kind of like a fad-ish now. It's fasting like cool.
Oh yeah, I'm so totally for this stupid fat diet that probably is like, I don't know, breaking down my muscle more. I don't know. I'll be the first to admit it. I actually bought a diabetic blood glucose tester, so I'm gonna test throughout the day.
Are you
see,
serious?
Like, what my insulin is doing. Yeah, I have it like right here. Well, I had to you have to get a prescription for these now, and they're like, why are you buying this?
I'm like, how'd you get that?
Because I want to know. So I'll be tracking, because I worry about the big insulin spike on like when I have a ton of carbs and protein and whatever at the end of my day. So we'll see, but I mean that's my current diet, and it's just interesting to hear.
That is awesome. Could you please tell me exactly how that works out?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna catalog all of it for YouTube.
Yeah, I'm very interested on that.
Yeah, well, it's been 2 years that I've been doing this, so like they say, intermittent fasting makes your you adapt and your blood sugar doesn't respond, but I want to know for sure.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Even if you tell me too, if your insulin spikes are different from you eating like brown and versus
yeah. Ooh, I should do that. Like
that's what
chug a beer or like
yeah. I want to know if that's a complete myth, because honestly, I very rarely eat brown rice. I'm always eating white rice.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, from the fiber standpoint, it's not that much of a difference, anyways. But so if you test that theory out, you're like, hey, Dwayne, I'm just letting you know, it didn't even move. I'm like, oh yes, thank you, appreciate it.
All right, I'm adding that in. I'll let you know. Yeah, but what if I'm like, yo, man, brown rice?
Don't even tell me.
He's like, I don't want to know. I'll still be ignorant. It's fine.
All right, so and you don't track macros. Is that different for you? Do you actually go like fully into your numbers for yourself, and it's different than what you tell your clients?
So yes and no. So I've been doing this for a while. So I ultimately know I'm like a creature of habit. So I pretty much eat the same thing every single day for the most part. So it's not like I'm completely off the reservation. So I know that I'm pretty close. Now if there's if we're like, oh, we're about to go on a cruise or we're about to go to Vegas, then I'll get dialed in completely, where it's like, okay, I know I'm gonna be out there with my shirt off, so let me make sure I'm ready. And then I'll start really tracking. But like, so especially being down here in South Florida, and before the Rona, we would, this whole pool party season starts happening. So you want to look your best. So that's when I'll dial in and I'll start. But for just everyday purposes, no, I don't. And that's what we try to get our clients to, where it's like they ultimately know like what works for them. And at that point, it's kind of like you don't have to constantly keep guessing, oh, should I try this? Should I try that? And so on and so forth. You know ultimately what your body responds to, and then it's like rinse and repeat. But it's a challenge too for some clients who you have some clients who are just like, it has to be something different. It has to be something different every day. And with that, it's like then it's hard to troubleshoot and figure out, okay, well, did it work eating this or did it work eating that? But when you have a client that's set and says, okay, boom, 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 and you're like, okay, well, we tried that for 2 weeks and it's been working. Yeah, let's stick with it. But if you have a client that's like, well, I want to wake up, I want to eat this on this day and this and this and that, it's hard. But I mean, we work around that. But the best way is honestly just to figure out what works and just keep going with it. Tenisha actually, on the other hand, is a little different. How do you approach that subject, honey?
I track sometimes. I don't always track, but the same. I pretty much follow a set amount of calories and macros a day. And I like to know personally, like what I'm eating. I will stick to the same thing. Like I'm a creature of habit too, so I will eat the same things, like pretty much around the same things every day. But I just like to know, like for my own knowledge. I'm just type A like that. So yeah, I follow more of a like a meal. I'll have like a set meal plan that I'll just kind of create or make for myself or whatever, and I've competed. So like if I'm getting ready for a show, then obviously I have a coach, and then I follow exactly what's on his meal plans.
Yeah, that's gotta be nutso. Jeez, the mental aspect of competing is crazy to me.
I don't like that time when she starts doing that. It's like
He's like, you're not gonna drink anything? You're not gonna drink with me? You're gonna have brunch? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Not today.
I mean, so I'll be at brunch drinking the whole bottle of champagne by myself, and it's like frustrating.
It's so good of you to do that for her.
Yeah, right. So it's like it's a trying time. She wants me to support her, but she's not supporting me.
Oh, really?
So and actually, she's actually on our way to start doing it again. So I'm not counting down the time. Yeah. So yeah, it's
once the Rona's.
Yeah, once the Rona was right back onto that. So yeah, she's already even started to dessert our McDonald's Fridays. She was doing
like adding dessert to McDonald's. Is that what you're saying?
I wish. I wish.
So I would do the McDonald's with him on Friday. Now I would do it. So he's like, really, like, you're not gonna have McDonald's. I'm like, no. But you know what it is? It's not even just about the competing. When I eat McDonald's with them, I can't. I'm not like him. Like I can't just eat McDonald's and then like that's it. Like I start to want like everything else. Like I'm like, hey, I have fries now. I want something sweet now. And he just leaves.
Yeah.
I'm like still nibbling. I'm like, no.
Well, Max also had something to say. You always talk about eating and then feeling like crap.
After I eat McDonald's, I feel not only do I feel like crap, but I feel like I need McDonald's again more than anything else in the world. It's the thing I'm most addicted to. Sorry, heroin. Apparently McDonald's is killing it. Because I'll go months without having it. I'm like, oh, whatever. I guess I'll get a Big Mac or whatever. And then literally 12 hours later, I'm like, oh my God, could I go to the drive-thru for breakfast? Or should I, what am I doing? It's insane. And I don't know what they do, if there's something mentally or if there's some chemical that's in there, but it makes me way more addicted to it.
All right, so with you guys, go ahead.
But it is nice. I mean, I know what you mean. Like, it's nice to like look forward to it when I'm in that routine. I like look forward to it on like a weekday.
So with you guys being on the West Coast, are you like big on like In-N-Out Burger and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're not missing out.
Overrated for sure.
Yeah, I feel the same too.
We were there, we had it, and we were like, what's the hype?
We got so excited. We were like, oh, we're out to California. I'm going straight to In-N-Out Burger. Go to In-N-Out Burger, we're like, this is it?
Yeah.
He's definitely sponsored by McDonald's. That's what's going on.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They should be paying us too.
All right, McDonald's.com.
McDonald's and Idaho potatoes or whatever.
It was 2 days ago. I made 4 slices of Domino's pizza fit into my macros just fine. I felt great the next day and did not want Domino's.
Really?
I mean, now I'm thinking about it.
And it's not Burger King and it's not Taco Bell. It's like literally for me, it's just McDonald's. But it's very bizarre. Yeah. But I will say that as crappy as I feel after I eat McDonald's, my next workout is amazing. Like
it's a performance meal.
It's a performance meal.
It's bizarre.
You need the insulin.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Ooh, you gotta check your blood glucose.
Yeah, you're gonna be poking all the time. Like, let me see what happens after I eat this.
All right. Well, and you were like what you were talking about with your clients was like basically the ones that stick to a certain thing, you know that it's working. So it sounds like you are also looking at a feedback loop, like giving them something, seeing if it has effective, making changes to get more effect out of it. Is that like you're adjusting their calorie levels or actually changing what they're eating, like the type of foods? Are you having them eat clean, or are you just sort of being like, this is your calorie level? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so we do, but it depends. Okay, so it depends on their goals. We do focus mostly on whole foods, mostly on clean foods. So like once they get into the part where they're tracking themselves, so like if they're following our perfect portion, it's mostly whole foods. We don't really switch up like what you're eating. So when they get to the point where they're tracking themselves, like I have a client right now, she's doing all her, my fitness pal, her macros and all that. I'll look and I might tell her, listen, you want to eat less processed. You try to incorporate more protein or this or that here, because she's like, oh, I'm sticking to my macros, but I'm still not seeing the results I want. So at that point, then I'll switch it up and I'll say, you know what, let's try this instead.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what
different types of food make a difference. Interesting.
And even if, and sometimes the calorie base too, like, or, her structure, like if she's eating, let's say like 35% protein, and 40% carb, whatever, we might change that up, the macro breakdown. It just really depends on what's going on with them.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I think it all works.
Yeah, and she's actually like, I think it's about the person she's talking about. Some of our clients get closer and closer to their goal weight, so that's when it gets even more challenging to start seeing the results. So then you really got to start dialing in on some of them. And if you're just starting out, you're just getting them into the proper calorie deficit typically works, and just keep them there and keep them happy, and then everything's okay.
When you just start with someone and they have goals, what if their goal is wildly impossible? Or, you know what I mean? How do you or do you try to just like structure a lifestyle for them that they can then like see body changes?
Yeah, that's a great question, because believe it or not, that actually comes up a lot. It comes up a lot.
Like
me.
Tanisha when she's
I'm working
competing.
out to get taller,
Yeah, it's like everybody's. We're working out, and all of a sudden we can slam dunk and all this. But it's like these crazy things, and I think a lot of it too happens sometimes where folks will gain weight so fast, and they're expecting that same type of results when it's time to lose it, and it just doesn't work that way, and we know that. So, people, if you ask somebody sometimes, and this is one of our questions that we ask typically when we first onboard someone, is like, okay, well, when were you at your last at your goal weight? And sometimes it'll be like years, right? And then we'll say to them, okay, well, how much weight would you love to lose? And then they'll say, well, I want to lose 40 pounds. Okay, perfect. How long do you think it'll take you to lose 40 pounds? Because right now we're trying to measure expectations, so we get to hear what they're thinking. And just like Max says, sometimes people will be like, I'm thinking 90 days. And I'm like, yeah, it's like 90 days. It's like, no, it's like, and then they just finished telling you, they've been putting it on for the past 8 years. It's just like, it doesn't work that way. So then it talks to them, okay, we got to start talking about what's realistic. And because if you don't do that, what ends up happening is when it's time for them to jump on the scale and they only lost 2 pounds, they're like, okay, you just told me during the onboarding that I could lose 10 pounds in the first week. And then it turns into this whole thing about, fitness doesn't work and so on and so. But you really have to get to the point. And don't get me wrong. We have a client right now. We actually have a female client right now who's on fire. Yeah. Like I think she's down like 8 or 9 pounds, and she's only been with us for probably a little over 2 weeks. So
she's actually more than her husband. Yeah. And her husband, usually men lose weight faster, and so it's actually really. I'm like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, but different. Yeah, but then we have another client who they were disappointed because he got on the scale and he was down like 5 pounds in his like week and a half, and he was like, he thought it would be more. And so so we manage it. Like, listen, I tell people all the time, I'm like, this is not the program where you're going to get on and you're losing weight like rapidly, like you're down 10 pounds. It's 1 to 2 pounds is the most sustainable rate of weight loss per week. And if you're there and if you lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, then good, you're doing a good job.
But yeah. So but that was a great question, because until we started asking them, like, how long do you think it'll take? People would go through 1 and 2 weeks and like, wow, I thought I would lost 20 pounds by now. I'm like, whoa, no. Yeah, so it's like,
100-pound girl trying to lose 25 pounds. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cut an arm off. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like and then you have shows like Biggest Loser that doesn't really help the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they see that and they're like, oh, well, I was watching this show and this person lost, and it's like, well, yeah.
But I think too, a lot of people don't, because I mean, I've never watched Biggest Loser, but from what I understand, they do a lot of like activity on there, right? And all this, and I don't know how low their calories are, but I think a lot of people too are under the misconception that because they started working out 3 days a week, all of a sudden their body's going to transform overnight. And I'm like, 3 days a week is not for a 24 minutes a day, mind you. It's not like you're, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, oh, but I want to look like this. And this is a fitness model who works out over an hour and a half a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. And her calories are like spot on. She's not drinking alcohol. She's not eating junk. She's not, you know what I mean? So, like, you can't expect that from this, you know? Right.
So yeah, definitely.
I feel like the hardest part of the onboarding would be like figuring out like the initial calorie amount to start out with. Like when I do calorie calculators, I mean, just like knowing what your activity level is and really like dialing in on that number, I imagine that sucks for you to figure out. And when you present it to them, do you get people being like, what, this is all I can eat? Like, I feel like it would be lower than what everybody expects all the time.
Well,
no, I was gonna say, believe it or not, no, our clients think we tell them to eat too much.
Yeah.
They all think 1200 calories is the magic number, and that's what they should be eating or less. And we're like,
what is that? What number?
1200.
Oh, 1200.
Okay, yeah.
That's it.
I mean, we have clients that come on that think it's 900 to 1200 calories what you should be eating each day. And you know, and it goes back to that misinformation, you know, whether they listened to, they had a cousin that was on the HH660DG diet, and they were like, okay, I'm supposed to eat 600 calories a day, and it's like, no, it doesn't really work like that. And when you give them even our first 7-day meal plan, it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm eating so much, and it's like,
and it's not that much.
No, it's not that much, and it's like, and it's just sometimes you just managing, you know, either their misbeliefs or just their limiting beliefs sometimes, where as far as weight loss is concerned. But yeah, we during the onboarding, but you also too, I think it comes back to is like our niche client is not really like it. They're in most cases they're trying to lose anywhere from 15 to 40 pounds, right? So, and they were already eating pretty unhealthy coming into us. So with us just presenting a different structure. They're usually pretty accepting. And now, if we were marketing to the 5%ers, where, you know, the people who are already at, you know, less than 20% body fat and so on and so forth, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So it's like we don't. That's not our ideal client. So we're not looking for anybody in those typical 5%ers, because at that point, yeah, you really got to get completely dialed in from day one and so on and so forth. Our clients, we're just trying to get them not to skip any meals. And this, well, Allie, you're different, but
I'm not a 5%er. I'm a 1%er.
Yeah, you're a 1%. So it's like, it's totally different. So for what we bring to them, it's like, okay, wow, this is working from the first 7 days, as long as we can get them to follow. So we don't even talk about. We try not to talk about calories on that first 7 days, but it's a spotless meal plan.
Yeah. Oh, right. They're just taking photos. Okay. Oh.
And then so that you brought up a good point just now. Is like each week we have them upload progress pictures. So every Monday they take, you know, a picture of front, side, and back, and then they'll upload it, and then they jump on the scale, and then at that point, then we can start like literally tracking like exactly where they are and where they're trending and so on and so forth. So we know who's making their yes mean yes, and who's completely just still doing their old habits, so to speak.
And then you have your transformation photos from those 1,000 clients. That's Instagram fire right there.
Yes.
That's so smart.
Yes. The social proofing truly helps.
Yeah, for sure. Have you changed anything during COVID and like this lockdown? Are you giving different advice at all?
One of the things that I'm trying to help people understand and realize that what's going on in COVID right now is that we're moving less, right? For a lot of people, you're not going to work. In some cases, you're working from home now. You're not doing multiple runs to the grocery store. You're limiting as many times as you're out. So you're not getting as much just day-to-day activity, right? So that's just less calories being burned, right? So if you're continuing to eat the same way you were prior to it, chances are you're going to slowly start to gain maybe a half a pound, quarter pound, whatever that number is each week. right? And this is a simple math. And I did that, how I figured that out is from when it first started happening. I started looking at my Apple Watch and started seeing how many calories a day that I was not burning, and I just compared it week after week, and it was around 300 to 400 per day less. And that's for me, and I'm very active, so I'm in the we built a little gym in our garage, so I could imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were like completely scrapped. We can get into that story, but
I would love to.
so literally so I always tell you have to remember that you're just not as active, so you need to either adjust that through nutrition or adjust that through exercise. So or maybe a little of both. And so I think that's what we've been trying to drive home, to let people know that, okay, you're not moving as much. You want to take that into account. And then on top of that too, is a lot of the excuses are gone right now, right? I mean, you're not going to restaurants as much anymore. You're just not happy. You're not at work eating donuts in the break room.
Right.
And the people before were saying, I don't have enough time.
And you're
now we got too much
time. A lot of
time.
people are home more,
right?
So they have the time.
Yeah, so you have the time to meal prep if you need to meal prep, but I don't know how to cook, so that's another story. But so even for me, it's I don't cook, so. I figure ways around just doing that, and so I try to share that with my clients as well. So, but yeah, that's our biggest advice is you're moving less. You got to figure out a way to combat that, and then you got to try to get around those excuses that you don't have time right now, because you definitely have time. And our plan is only 24 minutes a day, so you can wake up 30 minutes earlier and get it in and get it out.
Yeah, sounds pretty reasonable.
What do you, for someone that doesn't like to cook, what do you suggest for them? Because a lot of times, trainers or their nutritionists or whatever, their number one piece of advice is stop eating, not
microwaved crap.
Anyway, yeah, microwave crap, processed food, fast food. Not to badmouth our all love of McDonald's.
Perhaps the red bag frat.
Yeah. So what do you tell someone if they don't really have an experience cooking, or more aptly, what if someone's in a dorm room or whatever and doesn't have a big kitchen?
Yeah, so for me, I'm a little different from that perspective, and what I mean by that is I'm not really a Whole Foods junkie. So with that, I'll eat a lean cuisine. I actually ate one yesterday. So I'll pop that in the microwave. I was gonna eat another one today, but then I remember it was McDonald's day, so I was like, let me have But so I'm big on those. I think a lot of those have come a long way. One of the big things that people always complain about that is it's processed foods, and some of them are supposedly all natural foods that are frozen, and some of them are actually bringing down the sodium. That was another big deal when it comes to those type of meals. But if you had to choose, you got somebody who needs to lose 40 pounds, and you're already eating a sloppy Joe, right? And now you're complaining about eating a lean cuisine, right? It's okay, go with the lean cuisine, right? It's a lesser of two evils. I don't, it's some people are even when people complain about those type of meals, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, well, you were doing something completely wrong before, as far as gaining the weight. So give it a shot. But then on top of that, what ends up happening for us too is and then I'm sure they're out there in California, but there's a service here called Fit Life. And basically what it is, it's this, if you can imagine this store you can walk into, they have this big refrigerator and they already have meals already prepped for you. And you literally walk in, you just picking trays of what you want. These are all fresh, grass-fed cows and chickens and all that stuff. And then you literally get to pick what you want. So for someone like me, I used to do weekly runs there and literally pick what I want. And everything's already, so all I have to do is pop it in the microwave. And this is, so if you want to go the whole, I want to be all super, super healthy, on that perspective, yeah, I was doing that. So Tanisha's big cook, but I'm not always a fan of what Tanisha's cooking. Now I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight, but
oh my God.
Yeah, so
I know.
So it's either one or two. Either you're figuring out to make little sandwiches here and there, or you're making salads and you're dropping some type of protein on it, or you're trying to mix in restaurant food with the microwave dinners, or you're finding one of these healthy meal prep delivery services. And now they have them where they'll ship them like dry ice out and so on and so forth. So there's definitely a way to figure it out. So for our clients, it's either you're cooking or you're doing sort of a mix where you're going to. We have clients that go to Fit Life as well, like here, but so that's typically what I always recommend for people who have trouble cooking, because I'm definitely in that same boat, and I think my experience over there adds value to them, so they know that, well, that's the same thing that Dwayne's doing, so it works.
Solid. Well, those 1,000 people that you've transformed are they like, is there a different phase for maintenance? Or are you giving them something different, or is it just like now they're tracking and that's sort of like a lifestyle thing?
So for us, how we have them go through the transformation, and it's more of education, right? So at a certain point, it comes to the point where it's a part of them. One of the things that we like to tell our clients is we're not expecting you to eat off a meal plan for the rest of your life. Like, just is like, there comes to a point where you just you will know, okay, I can eat this, I can eat that, and we had a client that that's lost like 70 pounds just recently, and she's like completely like her life is completely different. Yeah. Like and she's no longer like, okay, what should I eat? She knows already, right? I mean, I literally have clients that'll be coming on board, and they because I have her on Instagram, they'll reach out to her privately and ask her questions, and she's actually like coaching them. So I'm like, oh, great, now you're my competition. So it really, and that's honestly like the goal of any coach, is like to see someone ultimately like get to the point where it's like they can do it on their own. It's just a beautiful thing. It's like, that's when you're like, wow, you're like, yeah, I feel accomplished, and so that's the goal for everybody, and typically it happens because you've been doing it. The habit is built, and the education is built, and they start to, and sometimes like we have a maintenance plan on our whereas literally we're just providing them like with a fitness plan and a nutrition plan, or just a fitness plan, and they just follow that, and because they're at that point they're more self-sustained, so it's not a big deal for they really have to need our coaching, or then are we telling them, hey, send me a picture of your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner anymore. You're long past that.
All right, wait, tell us about your bunker gym. What did you get in lockdown?
Right, so what ended up happening is that the Corona thing started happening, and believe it or not, I was in GNC one night, and while I was in GNC,
believe it or not,
out of all places, right? I'm in GNC. I'm getting supplements, and this doctor comes in, and this doctor, and I built up a little rapport with the guy at the desk at GNC. So we're joking around. So the doctor comes in. He's like, I hope he comes in, jokes around. He's like, I hope you guys are getting your last because we're talking about the gym. He's like, I hope you guys are getting your last reps in, because those things are going to be closing down soon. And at the time, the gyms weren't closed yet.
This wasn't Dr. Box,
No, it was a different guy. Okay. So a random guy I didn't even know, but he was a doctor. Came in with the whole smock on and everything. He's like, and I just, so we're like, oh, I was like, yeah, we're just joking around about that. We're thinking that they're going to close. He goes, yeah. And typically, the things that close first are going to be the last things to open. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, he was honestly, I would be a long time for these gyms to open back up, because he was like, those are the places that are literally like this is like germ city there. So I was like, oh, okay. So at that time the gyms were still, I really was like, not a big deal. So what ended up happening was maybe about a day or two later, I'm at the bank, and while I'm in the bank, I'm signed, which is very rarely anybody goes to the bank anymore. I'm in the bank because I don't remember, I was doing something with my account, and as I'm in the bank, the guy comes in, the manager of the bank walks in jokingly. He's like, hey guys, just letting you know, 11 o'clock tonight, LA Fitness is closed for good. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh no. So that gym closed, but I found another gym that was already open still. So we're all still going to that gym at night, and then everything closed. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do? I had nothing except a pair of Bowflex. We had Bowflex, and we had an elliptical. That was it. Right.
So I'm like, that's fine. That's all we need. We got some stuff.
So we own the fitness studio. So we actually have enough. We know a few people in the industry that we can literally call and say, hey, can I get this and get this? Because we had all the equipment and stuff before. So I'm making a couple phone calls, and I call one of my guys, and he's like, hey, Dwayne, I have nothing. And I was like, what do you mean you have nothing? He's like, there's no weights. I was like, who's buying all the weights? And he's like, all these people are coming in and buying all the weights. I was like, CrossFit people. He's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, the CrossFit people. I'm like, yeah. He's
Sorry.
like, yeah. He's like, I'm like, what? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Well, think about it. CrossFit people are like you guys. They don't need all these fancy hammer strength machines. They just need the weight. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He's like, yeah, they just do these workout of the days in their garage and they're good. And I was like, oh. So he's like, yeah. He's like, I said, when do you think it goes? I don't even know when things are be coming back because we're all in back order. Everybody's trying to call us and this and that. I was like, well, let me know if anything happens. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I look on Dick's website, and that's the only thing I could think of at the time. And I was like, let me go on Dick's.
My exact story. I've done all of this.
I went on Dick's, and at that point it was sold out, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, you could
I
like
was
look
like,
for pickup, but they had nothing.
they had nothing. So I was like, I came up with this idea of like, well, they must load their website like late at night or early morning. So let me just like start I set my alarm clock and would get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning every morning and start scouring. And then that's when I started picking up. I got my squat rack.
Right, random. He drove all the way to. What was the farthest you drove?
I drove
he
to
was about
Wellington.
to go to Tampa for something one day.
Yeah, I was going to Orlando, which is about 3 hours away
yeah,
from us,
and
just for a weight set.
Wellington. So every day it was like, Tenisha, I'm going here to get this. I'm going here to get this. I was like, oh my.
Because I kept thinking about the doctor in my mind saying to me, it's going to be a long time for these things to open. So I was like, it just makes more sense for me to just go ahead. So we end up getting. So I literally be going from Dick's to like I'm in multiple Dick's, going crazy. And I end up so I got that. I got the squat rack, and then after that we ended up getting the barbell set. After we got the barbell set, we end up getting one of the big things that for me is like I feel like you can't really do like leg extensions and leg curls with like dumbbells, right? I feel like you need that machine. That's the one machine I always feel like you're gonna need. So I called up my guy again. I was like, hey, do you have any leg curl or leg machines anywhere? And he's like, no, we're sold out. He's like, yeah, I'll let you know if I have anything. He's like, I'm sorry, dude. So he hung up the phone and he calls me right back and he's like, guess what? I was like, what? He goes, I found one on the showroom floor. You want to buy it? Oh, I said, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get it for you. So he got it for me. I went, picked it up. So I now have a leg curl machine.
Nice.
TRX. I have the elliptical. I have the Bowflex. I have the Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. I have the Bowflex adjustable kettlebell.
Oh, the things that like the box things that looks like a toaster.
No, not that one. That's no. I literally have the Bowflex where it's small and the dials are in the front and the back.
Yeah.
And it clicks. So you can go anywhere from 5 to like 52 pounds. And then we have the Bowflex adjustable kettlebell. So we have this one kettlebell that you can adjust from I think it's 8 to 40 pounds. So so we have that as well. And then we have a bench and we're looking to pick up. My next thing is I'm looking to buy is I was gonna buy one from the same guy because I was like, hey, do you have a cable machine by any chance? And he was like, oh, we do. And he's like, it's the last one in the country. And I'm looking back at Tenisha. I'm like, should we buy it? She's like, I don't know, because at that point we're like, should we go spend thousands of dollars on this gym equipment? And next thing you know, gym opens like in 2 weeks. And this was like earlier on, so we're like, but now 8 weeks later, you're like, damn, maybe I should have bought it. So, but yeah, so like, because they're right now here in our city right now, the governor still for South Florida says the gyms can't open, but this on a city level, they're going back and forth saying some cities are going to open, but then now the county's like, listen, no gym still. So yeah, so right now it's been, and I was always a person who would think I would never enjoy working out in my garage, and now I'm like, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going back to the gym.
Yeah, I'm
like, your garage is a gym. Your garage isn't a garage.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to start charging memberships, by the way.
Okay.
You guys get a family discount or something?
Yeah, right. It's like so now it's like every morning I'm out there 6 o'clock and just working out, and it feels like I just get a complete workout from what we have. But I'm still on the prowl for a cable machine. I think I'm gonna end up getting one.
Make it happen, and then just open the gym once you're allowed.
Yeah.
Have your gym.
Exactly. So yeah, so we're happy. We're happily working out.
Oh yeah, this is actually something we started asking. Obviously, you're above and beyond. But if someone was going to buy, what do you think is the one piece of home exercise equipment that you would suggest people buy, or what is your favorite thing that you picked up, or if someone has to suddenly work out at home, pull-up bar, TRX, kettlebell, adjustable kettlebell, like what do you think the normal person should get?
All right, so if it's someone who's like, they're like, you know what, I want to, I'm looking to do some type of like CrossFit or even bodybuilding type of structured workout, I would this ethos squat rack I got is just complete. It's $350. I highly recommend if you can get that. It's like the amount of things you can do off that one thing, and then you can do dips because it has a dip bar on it, and then you can obviously do your pull-ups, and yeah, it's like it's really, it was really worth every single penny. And then after that, I think the must-have is Bowflex. Yeah, Bowflex all day.
Sure, yeah.
Like I'm on the waiting list for the Bowflex 90 because they have a one called the 1090s where you can literally adjust it from like 10 to 90 pounds. Once that comes out, I'm buying those too. So it's like, yeah, like that is those are like gems. Like during, like normally they're like $300 for the ones I have. Like during the height of the Corona, people were selling for like $1,200. Yeah,
I believe it. Yeah.
yeah, $1,200 and $1,000. Like right now, a friend of mine he just literally just found one like about a week ago, and he paid like $600. Yeah. So.
And you put a price on looking hot? No.
Yeah, you put a price on it, but eventually he broke down and was like, I got to do it. I'm just gonna buy it. I can't wait anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that squat, if you can get that squat rack, it's only $350. I highly recommend. The amount of things obviously you can do squats on it, but you can do the dips, and then you can do military shoulder presses.
Yeah.
It's nonstop all thing, and then it comes with the TRX straps in the box.
Yeah.
So then you're doing back rows, you're doing all that type of stuff.
More things. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would, if you're in that realm of saying, okay, I want to look to get some type of equipment, go that route. If not, you can go to typical resistance bands and have at it.
All right, solid. So, where can all the fit heads find you? I know you've got the app, podcast, where Instagram. Let us know all of the places.
All right, so you can find me personally at Hunger4Fitness, and that's going to be on Instagram. You can go to www.hunger4fitness.com, or you can, and then we also have our main site, which is www.virtuallyfit.com. So yeah.
All right, awesome.
And
Thank you so much for joining us, letting us pick your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really fun, guys.
Yeah,
you guys are great.
I hope you enjoy your McDonald's tonight. I'm so excited for you.
Post a picture for you guys.
Yes, send me a photo of your food.
Yeah. I'm going to be your client for the next 7 days.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks, Fitheads. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, and we will see you next week.